Ahoy! It's time once again for a fun-filled, action-packed adventure with Craig and Terry. Well, would you believe an uneventful, relaxing cruise to Catalina? We join our intrepid explorers as they arrive in Marina del Rey. Here we meet Scout. She is a Jeaneau 51.1. Scout is quite large, measuring around 50 feet. That's around 15.25 meters for those of you across the pond. Heading down the companionway, we enter the salon area. And as you can see, she is very spacious. After the salon are two cabins, each with their own heads. Moving forward through the salon is the very large V-berth. This would be our cabin for the trip. It is equipped with a queen bed and a private head. This head is nice in that it has a curtain that separates the shower from the toilet. Not all heads are like this, and that is one of the requirements Terry has when we get our own boat. After we got settled in, we relaxed in the cockpit for a bit. Then Captain Greg showed us the different systems and how they operated. The next morning, we slept in and had a lazy breakfast. After breakfast, we prepared the boat for departure. Captain Greg went through the departure list and assigned each of us jobs. Terry had the important job of watching the bow, so that it would clear the dock pylon. Greg was brave enough to let me pilot Scout out of the slip. This may sound easy to some of you, but Scout is a big boat and fits rather tightly in the slip. Also, the distance between the piers is almost as far as Scout is long. So, to say it was a tight fit would be generous.
Thank you for
4669. Okay.
Thank you for your help, Terry.
Nice job.
I had these.
Yeah, so it's your own base. Just take this on out.
Nevertheless, all went well, and we headed out through the marina. Along the way, we got to see more neat boats. I'll let Captain Greg tell the story of this one.
That's like an old steamboat.
It's yeah, I think it's a 1930s. 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they built. They built it in 1930. It's a 1930s vintage super motor yacht that they, you know, they bui
As we headed out of the harbor, Greg was all too helpful to point out boats and give us advice about sailing. On our way, we passed El Segundo, which is a restricted area where big tankers like this one unload fuel. As we rounded Point Vincent, we got our first view of wildlife, these dolphins. Forgive my camera work, it is harder than you think to film on a rocking boat. For the most part, we motored our way to and from Catalina, which is unfortunate, but it was better than being at work. A couple of hours after sighting the dolphins, we came across this pod of pilot whales. These whales are primarily squid eaters, but they are also known to eat fish. They are highly social and may remain with their birth pod throughout their lifetime. A little over halfway to Catalina, the winds picked up and we put the sails out. It was nice to have no more engine noise, just the sound of the wind and the waves hitting the boat. As we approached Catalina, we could see these million-dollar condos and, of course, the iconic casino that marks the entrance to Avalon Harbor. Oddly enough, it never was built for gambling, but more on that later. And in true Craig and Terri fashion, Avalon arranged a military flyby to mark our arrival. The check-in process to get a mooring ball was easy thanks to these nice harbor patrol boats equipped with credit card, point-of-sale terminals, and a computer. But the paying part was easy. The picking up of the mooring ball was the hard part.
On the port side if you can.
On our first attempt, everything we had learned in the class disappeared. I failed to communicate with Captain Greg that I had the hawser in my hand and was only a foot away from putting it on the cleat. All I would have to do was to tell him to move forward, and we would have had it on the first try.
You gotta work faster, guys. Just lay it on deck. Just lay it down, Terri. Just drop it. Did you lose it?
We lost it.
Okay, we'll go around. Come back here a minute. Let me talk to you.
The second try was much better.
Terri, drop it. Thank you. That's the one we need.
That evening we relaxed as other boats and the town of Avalon illuminated the harbor. The next morning we had a beautiful sunrise. After breakfast, we left Scout and headed for a walking tour of Avalon. After being dropped off the dinghy dock, our first stop was a tuna club, one of 2 exclusive yacht clubs on the island. After that, we headed down the boardwalk which is decorated with murals, and arrived at the casino. The casino was a brainchild of William Wrigley Jr., who commissioned the construction in 1929 to mark the 10-year anniversary of his 1919 purchase of Catalina Island. Nearly 90 years later, this 11-story icon stands as a reminder of Catalina's historic beginnings as a romantic escape for millions who would make the trip across the sea to enjoy a movie, dinner, dancing, and the casino's early days as the hub of Avalon's nightlife. As we continued to walk, we noticed this repurposed use of old playground icons. We also came across this old abandoned bird park, which was conceived by Mrs. Wrigley in the 1930s, and at that time, it was one of the largest aviaries in the world. A little further up the road is the Natural Center at Avalon Canyon. This center exhibits artifacts from the earliest human occupation of the island, as well as the native flora and fauna. Our walk led us to the Wrigley Memorial and Botanical Garden. William Wrigley was entombed in the mausoleum after his death in 1932, but was relocated to the mainland in 1947. On our way back to the boat, we found a playground that we could not resist.
So you try to pick the most unsafe thing to play on. Thump. You want to sit on the sea lion?
Riding a whale.
Then our noses led us to this sweet shop. Who can resist chocolate? Upon return to the boat, Terri found a relaxing spot on the bow. The next morning, it was time to head back. We stowed away everything, and Terri took us out of the mooring field. As we left the harbor, we passed the X.C. Johnson, a 113-foot brigantine operated by the Los Angeles Maritime Institute, a nonprofit organization that helps at-risk youth learn discipline and teamwork through sailing. After passing this beautiful ship, Terri set course for Marina del Rey. On our way back, we came across more dolphins, but these guys entertained us by surfing the bow. What a great way to end the trip. If you liked this video, leave a comment, hit the like button, and remember to subscribe. If you click the bell icon, you will be notified when our next video is released. Thank you for watching.